to my first ever YouTube video. I am like anxious, nervous, excited, all the things. I promised some people a YouTube video and I'm finally gonna make it happen. Today I am going to discuss all things single pregnancy and a bunch of questions that everybody sent in on Instagram and Facebook. So here we go. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Candice. I'm a single mom from Montreal, Canada. And I recently told the whole world that I am expecting my second baby on my own. So I'm going to dive into the whole process and how I came to the decision, a little bit of back history, and so yeah. Before I go on, I'm going to ask you to please like and subscribe because I'm going to try to put out some more videos, kind of make this more of a frequent thing. If you don't know, I already have a daughter named Riley. She is 6, and for about 3 years she's been asking me for a sibling, and unfortunately until now I wasn't able to deliver that. I was engaged to her father many moons ago, and that didn't work out. I decided to take matters into my own hands. It was a little over 2 years ago. I met with a fertility doctor here in Montreal to discuss my options. And since I had previously had such a successful pregnancy before, chances were pretty good that I would be able to conceive pretty easily doing IUI. And that's intrauterine insemination, IUI. It is different than IVF. I won't speak on IVF because I don't know all of the information, but what I do know is what happened for myself is once we discussed what I wanted, the doctor and I, we went through routine tests, including blood work and some ultrasounds and things like that, just to make sure that my body was in good health to be able to have another baby. Once all the tests came back okay, she decided that we would try to do at least 3 rounds of insemination, IUI, without any fertility drugs. So I didn't need to take anything. So what happened was we had to mark the first day of my period each month, and then 14 days about after the first day, I would start doing ovulation tests to see if I was ovulating. And on the day that I was ovulating, I would go into the doctor's office and they would do the IUI, which is done with, kind of looks like a syringe, and it's done that way. It honestly, and people are like, oh my God, does it hurt? It feels as uncomfortable as going for your routine gynecological exam, like your pap test. So it's not super cute or romantic in any way, but that's the way it's done. The first 2 rounds, they weren't successful and I was pretty upset, obviously. But I tried to hold on to the idea that timing is everything, and if it's meant to be, it'll be. So I decided to do one last go, actually, and I was ovulating on December 25th of last year, 2020. In January, I don't remember the day exactly, peed on a stick, and it turned out that I'm pregnant. And yeah, so we're super happy. My daughter gets to be a big sister, so we're super excited about that. I want to mention, she did say that if the first 3 rounds didn't work, they weren't successful, then we would start introducing some hormones and fertility medication that would help my chances of conceiving. So it's quite the common misconception that I could be having twins, or I'm probably having twins because of the way that I conceived, but that's actually not true. My chances of having twins are the same as had I been with a partner and we had just had regular intercourse and conceived a baby. There was no different other than mine was, again, super not cute and was in a doctor's office, and it was very clinical. I had people send in some questions about how this whole journey has been and some specific questions to my personal story, and I'm going to cover them. How did I know it was the right time? I honestly had been doing research for at least 3 years prior to this positive pregnancy test. So I looked into adoption, and because that could take a really long time, I felt a little bit anxious about that because I knew the time was more now for me and my family. So I looked into fertility options and working with a doctor to see what my options could be there. And finally, I found a good doctor who had really great reviews and recommendations. Sat with her, loved her, thought she was really, really great, and felt that she didn't make me feel weird for being a single mom, which that was huge for me because it's kind of taboo still, a little bit. It's getting better, but it's still a little taboo. But she was wonderful. She made me feel comfortable. And with that, I knew, hey, let's go for it. I felt good about it. So I did it. What made me decide to use a donor? I decided that I have been doing very well on my own as a single mom, and I believe that I will be able to be a great mom to another baby also. So the best way to do that was obviously not to just be with some random person. I decided that going with a donor who has been medically tested, who has gone through a whole slew of testing and blood work and medical exams and all these crazy things, would be better. All the hard work is done for me. Do I get to choose my donor? Of course. So after meeting with my doctor, she gave me some resources for where to look for a donor, and there are several websites that specialize in this that are actually certified places to source donor sperm, and that's where I went. I went through many different sites, many different profiles to find the right donor. And on these sites, there are baby pictures. There are a whole questionnaire about how this person is as a human being. Their whole family's medical history is included in there. Their mom, their dad, if they have siblings or grandparents. So you'll know if there's diabetes in the family, as an example. If there has been any cancers in the family. And that's what I really zeroed in on personally, because although a cute baby's great, of course,
Everybody wants to have a cute baby.
my main concern is and will always be the health of my child. So I try to zero in on the health of the donor, and that being hopefully the health of my child. Another question that I actually get asked pretty frequently is, what is the difference between being single and pregnant and being in a relationship and pregnant? And quite frankly, without being entirely insensitive, I have enjoyed being single and pregnant so much more. So much more room in the bed. And like when you're pregnant, you are moving, you are uncomfortable, okay? Albeit Riley comes into my bed pretty frequently in the night, but she's little, so it's just not the same. Truly, my ex-fiance and I weren't each other's person, and we fought a lot. And when you're pregnant and hormonal, I didn't feel super supported. Favorite thing about being a parent. I don't know, I really love being a mom. It's funny because when I was younger, I didn't think that I would ever have kids. And I was like, if I have kids, I'm gonna have to have a whole slew of them because why not? Might as well have a whole bunch if you have one. And then, yeah, I had Riley. I was so happy for sure. And yeah, it's just, you get to see life in a completely different way. Like before her, it was all about me. I didn't have anybody else to consider, you know, and just seeing her curiosity for life and just the little things that make her happy. I guess you get to be young again in a lot of ways, and it's awesome. She's a cool kid. I'm very lucky. That leads into, how did I approach this with Riley? Honestly, she's known the entire time. I was very open with her. As soon as I got the go-ahead from the fertility doctor after all the medical testing had been done, I sat down and I had a talk with her and I said, listen, mommy's not married, mommy's not in love, I don't have a partner, but there are options, and I explained it as childlike appropriate as I could. And I explained to her that I would like to have another baby, and I've checked out my options, and I'm going to work with a special doctor, and hopefully they'll be able to help me have another baby and make her be a big sister. And she was so on board. She didn't really have very many questions, to be honest. Any little question that she has, I'm pretty honest with her. Again, age appropriate, but I'm honest with her about how mommy is doing this a little bit differently, and that's okay. And it's not something for everyone. This isn't going to be the journey for everybody, and some people might not understand it, and that is totally okay. But for me, this felt right. So we're doing it. She understands that there's a baby in my belly and she's going to be a big sister. And quite frankly, luckily, unluckily, however you want to say it, she's growing up in a day and age where most of her friends' parents are divorced or remarried or not married, and single mom, single dad, and some of her friends live with grandparents or an auntie, and so she knows that there's different families, and we've always been so open about that. Like, my parents are divorced, my dad's remarried, and it's not as weird and taboo now. So mommy having a baby, being single, isn't super out of left field for her. So because of that, I think she's very comfortable with the fact that, hey, it might be different, but she just zeroes in on the fact that, hey, she's going to be a big sister. How cool is that? And at 6, I feel like that's how I would feel too. Right? Gone pretty well. I can't complain. She's happy. She's been super helpful. When I was really, really sick in the first trimester and nobody knew I was pregnant except for her, she was amazing. She would get me water and rub my belly and rub my head, and she was just a really good kid. So we're happy. She's happy, and yeah. I think that covers pretty much everything that I wanted to cover in this video. Definitely, if you have more questions, please drop them below or send me a message. I would be more than excited to speak about those things with you, or in another video later, I don't know. But yes, thank you for watching all the way through. Again, please like and subscribe, and thank you for your support on this journey. It really does mean a lot. And yeah, thank you so, so much. We'll see you guys again soon.